Red Wings lose 4-3 to the Vegas Golden Knights, and in doing so, we drop to third last in the league. We are a solid 4 points behind Ottawa, but we're pretty close to, I believe it's the Devils who are below us. Man, the East is bad this year. If we're going to lose games, if we're going to get Jack Hughes, if we're going to get at least a top 4 pick, these are the kind of games we're going to have to lose. Good, hard-fought games where we just can't overcome the skill of the opponent. Let's talk about it. The Wings have a very good first period. Back and forth in the first 5 minutes, but overall the Wings are dominating, outshooting the Golden Knights 14-7. Man, by the way, just a quick side note, it did not take long for the Golden Knights to just become something that, like, isn't weird anymore, right? Like, remember last year we saw the Golden Knights playing the Red Wings and we were like, what year is it? But no, it just kind of, it was like, yep, we're playing a really strong Western opponent. I was just like, yeah, we're playing a really strong Western Conference team. The Wings are keeping the play, though, in the Golden Knights zone. I want to say, I think my favorite line from this game was the fourth line. Like, okay, obviously Larkin Nyquist this time with Applicator was not bad. FCU was flying for a while. It was a pretty underrated game by Vanek, Nielsen, and Mantha. But I honestly think the Wings, like, most impressive line for what they usually do, the fourth line, that Rasmussen and Delarose line. I think Delarose and Enner switch. All three, man, Jacob Delarose, I don't think he's going to be on this team next year. I think there's just too many good young players to take a spot. He might be like a healthy scratch. And the same deal, I honestly think. Obviously, Rasmussen is going to have a pretty big role over the next couple of years. But every single game, those guys just bring it, and especially in this game, and surprises a lot of players with his speed. Delarose surprises a lot of players with his tenacity. Overall, I like that line. Good job. Howard makes some pretty good saves once Vegas eventually gets set up in the wing zone, but all in all, it's just Fleury keeping the Golden Knights in it. And then there's this weird play, and, you know, Fleury made a save late in the game that reminded us of a certain event. But I think it's important to treasure all of the similarities between Fleury's performance in this game and, you know, the 10 years ago. So it's a weird play. Larkin kind of gets the puck from Applicator, and he's in all alone. He takes a shot, gets blocked. It goes behind the net. Larkin gives it to Applicator. Applicator is kind of skating behind the net. Goes out in front. Button hooks, shoots, and Fleury has it. Does he? But just like in 2008, in Game 6, the puck goes on. Fleury has it, but it just barely squeaks through his pads. And in 2008, it was Henrik Zetterberg, and in this game, it was Gus Nyquist who finds the puck just from behind him and just neatly puts it in the net. 1-0 Wings. In that game in 2008, that goal would end up being the game winner for the Wings. So, you know, same goalie, same kind of play. Good job. Good way to start the game. Rasmussen's working his way back. He looks pretty good, I'll be honest. I mean, Rasmussen was never a game breaker over the season so far. I think he's had some trouble kind of adjusting to the system, adjusting to his role. But overall, I think that break did wonders for him, and he looked pretty good in this game. So first period, all Wings, all good. Second period, it's a different story. Vegas starts to turn it on, and this is kind of where you see the depth in skill when you compare Vegas and Detroit, which, by the way, is a sentence that if I said to you 5 years ago, you would laugh in my face. Carlson and Marshmallow are speeding up the ice at the tail end of a Golden Knights power play. Carlson just skates in, beautiful shot. Howard makes a good save, but it bounces right out to Marshmallow, who puts it in, and it is a tie game. Yeah, you know, that's not a problem, though. Wings are still sort of putting it on, but Vegas, again, this is just where they turn it on. Under 5 minutes later, this might be why Vegas might go far again. This time it's Stastny and Carlson. Stastny has the puck. They both sort of outskate Dennis Cholowski. Green's just there like, help me. And he's doing his best to kind of cover, Stas into Carlson, they break in the zone. Carlson to Stassi, back to Carlson, just kind of reaches in from almost behind the line and slaps the puck in the net. And it's 2-1, and there's not much you can do about that. Maybe you'd like Chalowski to be better getting back, but maybe like Green to maybe cover Carlson a bit better, but that was an amazing play. There's nothing Howard can do on that play. Cross-ice passes are one of the hardest shots to stop in the NHL. I mean, hey, look at Fleury in the Stanley Cup Final last year. The Caps eventually figured out they were going to have a lot more success by going backstream to Ovi at the other side of the ice than just, putting the puck on net, hoping for deflection. 2-1 Golden Knights, but this game is far from over. The Kaiser and Jensen are kind of in too deep, back-ticking a little bit too hard, which is usually not something you would complain about, except for the fact that after the puck is shot and it rebounds, Howard did not have an amazing game with rebounds in this game, but overall he was okay. Shot rebound, but no one's on Marshmallow, so he gets his second of the game. 3-1 Golden Knights. And the Wings are definitely not out of this game. They're trying hard. I'll say this about the Wings. I'd rather be the Wings right now than the Senators or the Ducks. Or really like any of those horrible teams right now. Sure, the Ducks are closer to a playoff spot, but the Wings give it every single game. I'll say that. Ever since the beginning of the season, that horrible streak, and ever since a couple bad ones throughout the season, the Wings really have never given up on a game. They're always fighting for it. It's more often just been lack of skill than lack of tenacity. So it's either been lack of skill or lack of good deployment. But either way, most Wings, whether they're on the first line or the fourth line, every single night, they just bring it to the competition, and they're really not fun to play against. Just ask one of the best teams in the Leafs, the Toronto Maple Leafs. Later in the game, Golden Knights have a pretty good lead. They are, doing a pretty good job of, saving off the Red Wings, but still a chance. Wings power play, Rasmussen is back on it. Nielsen, who I was studying a lot in this game, and he hasn't been playing that horribly. Nielsen has the puck deep on the left wing. He throws it right onto Rasmussen. Rasmussen gets it. He puts it past Marc-Andre Fleury. 3-2 in his first game back from his conditioning stint and the injury. Rasmussen's back. He gets a goal. 3-2 Wings. Another start to turn it on. Wings getting chances. Fleury being incredible in this one. You could argue Fleury was the main reason why the Wings didn't walk home with at least 1 point. There's a weird goal. There's a screen in front of Jimmy Howard, kind of on a broken play, and when the puck goes on, it just kind of gets under him, and 4-2, and that might be the backbreaker, but again, I'll say this with the Wings, they never stop. Even though they didn't come back fully in this one, they just don't give up. It's arguable they could have tied up the game had it not been for a ridiculous save on Marc-Andre Fleury. Vanek gets the cross crease pass, slaps it on. Fleury dives across the other way to make the save, and Mickey Redmond's like, hey, doesn't that remind you of the save that he made on Nicholas Lidstrom in Detroit when the Penguins won the cup? I didn't need that, Mick. Just hear the rest of the game, and sorry, just bad memory. The whole period from like 2009 to 2012 might be one of the worst stretches for this young Detroit sports fan ever, because you have losing like a finals, losing the Western Conference Finals, losing the semiconference finals, lose in the semis again to the same team. Oh, also that year, Tigers make it to the World Series, and we don't talk about how that series worked. No. Anyway, Wings get their chances. Fleury is there to stop them. Good effort, but just can't do it. Like the last second where this time that play to Vanek worked and he bats it in, and it's 4-3. You're not going to score with like 1 minute and 7 seconds left on the board at the center face-off dot. So game ends 4-3 Wings. Like I said, we move into third last in the league with a pretty good shot at getting one of those, Capocacco or Jack Hughes. They actually did a feature on Jack Hughes in this one. He says he compares himself to Patrick Kane, except he's a center. Our center depth could be just delectable. Imagine, I'm going to go on for a brief tangent. Imagine in the not so distant future, we have a top 3 of Larkin, Hughes, Veleno. And that's not even talking our wingers, Mantha, Athanasiou, Zadina, Bertuzzi, and Rasmussen, Svechnikov, and all those games where the Wings with this crappy roster are making one of the best teams in the league have to work really hard for that win. Imagine what this team could be once we have good players, once those young players start to graduate. Ken Holland was talking about how they're planning on bringing up Zadina for not more than 10 games, obviously. But think about bringing up Zadina. Valeno is still on fire in the queue. So is Jared McIsaac. So Wings fans, hold your head high and get ready for a matinee game against the Buffalo Sabres. Very important game for Buffalo if they want to stay in this race. They just lost a game to the Hurricanes, the team they're kind of in a dogfight for, to beat Columbus. And also sort of an important game if you're the Wings for the tank, although who knows. All right, I've been Jacob. I will see you next time, Saturday, 1 o'clock, I think. No, Saturday, 1 o'clock, Wings Sabres. So long.